Welcome to another video in the series about the TI-ARM-Clang compiler. This video discusses compatibility between TI-ARM-Clang and ARMCL, the older proprietary compiler from TI. My name is George Mock and I'm your guide. Okay, so ARMCL is the short name for the TI proprietary compiler. It's been around for quite some time. And that's the compiler we're talking about being compatible with. You're moving from ARMCL to TI-ARM-Clang. What do you have to be concerned about? Among the things you have to be concerned about are the C and C++ source code annotations that you might have in that code. It turns out that some of those annotations are specific to ARMCL. They're supported only by ARMCL, and TI-ARM-Clang does not support them. And so, okay, let's say you have some of those, and what should you do? Well, what we suggest is that you use either ACLE, which stands for ARM C language extensions, or GCC extensions in place of these ARMCL specific pragmas and things like that. When you make that change, you can make it one piece at a time. You can either work a file at a time, or you could work one particular construct at a time. And you don't have to make all of the changes at a single time. Okay, you can make one change, build and test your system, and then go make another change and build and test your system, and on you go. Okay. So here's one example to flesh out what I'm talking about with regard to source code compatibility. In this upper box, this is an example of source code that uses a specific pragma code section. What this does is the code for this example function will go into a section with this name here, special section name. Okay, that's what this does. And written as it is, this is something that ARMCL supports. TI-ARM-Clang does not. That's why the comment says ARMCL specific. So let's say you do this in your source code. What we recommend you do is you make the change to how it's written in the bottom box. You change it using a GCC attribute. Okay, so the bottom box and the upper box both do the same thing, but if you write it this way, it will be supported by both ARMCL and TI-ARM-Clang. So hopefully this makes it clear what I'm talking about when I say you make the change to the attribute, and now it works with either compiler, and you can make these changes one piece at a time, as opposed to being forced to make a large number of changes and all the trouble that goes with that. Another area of compatibility to be concerned about is the compiler options. The ARMCL compiler options and the TI-ARM-Clang compiler options are quite different in many ways. If you build with CCS, you've got a project that's in CCS that's using ARMCL, and you make the configuration changes to it to use TI-ARM-Clang instead. CCS automatically helps you. It provides an awful lot of automated assistance in that process, and it ends up making it pretty straightforward. It handles all those cases really well. If, on the other hand, you do not build with CCS, you build with makefiles, well, those makefiles do need to be updated. But there's some more help on that point that I'll get to in the next slide. The other thing I want to talk about is a header file that is supplied with TI-ARM-Clang runtime support header files called ticompatibility.h. It's got a lot of pound-defines in it that take care of a lot of these details for you. However, I want to emphasize that this is something that we add to the package for quick experiments. Okay, if you're in a situation where you need to quickly, within a matter of 30 minutes or something, build a bunch of code with TI-ARM-Clang just to see what happens, and you're running into these compatibility problems, and you just want to quickly get past them just for now to carry your experiment on, this is perfect for that situation. We don't recommend you use ticompatibility.h as a long-term solution. To further aid you in the process of migrating from ARMCL to TI-ARM-Clang, we have prepared a migration guide, and it goes through all sorts of details, all the way down to, it has tables for every compiler option. This is the ARMCL option. This is the corresponding TI-ARM Clang option. And sometimes there's a couple of caveats there, and those will be there, and it just goes through everything in at the lowest level of details. It is part of the online manual for Clang, and the next slide I'll talk to you about how you get to this. But once you get there, this is a screenshot of what you're looking at, and the migration guide is right here. I've put circled it right there. So this is another aid for you that's available for you all the time. It's available right now, okay? So we're nearing the end of this video, and so I'd like to give you a couple of references. The first one is to the homepage for the TI-ARM Clang compiler. That's ti.com/TI-ARM-Clang. This is where you can download the compiler, and you can access the online manual that I referred to in just the previous slide. Remember, this online manual includes in it the migration guide. The second reference is to e2e.ti.com. This is where you go to ask any sort of question on any TI product, including TI-ARM Clang. If you happen to ask a question that is compiler related, that question will be answered by me. Thank you for watching this video in the series about the TI-ARM Clang compiler.